Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
All right, sisters, so let me share with you the two questions that I asked myself recently. And these are the two questions that really turned things around for me. You're going to hear a lot of birds tweeting right now. I'm recording this early in the morning. It's 5 a.m. Walking around outside my house. Beautiful start to the day. And this is the first time that I'm speaking too. So since I've been up with my dogs and getting coffee, and so you're going to get a lot more subdued Karen today. But here we go. So I have come off of last week. Thursday and Friday night, my husband and I were in Vancouver, which is across the ocean from where we live in Victoria. We live on what's called Vancouver Island, and Victoria is on Vancouver Island, and Vancouver's across the water from us. So in order for us to get to Vancouver, you have to take a ferry, which is about an hour and three-quarter. You have to arrive 30 minutes before the ferry. It's about a 45-minute drive from the ferry to get to downtown Vancouver, where our hotel was. So it's like a good 3+ hour turnaround time easily. You can take a seaplane. And then we found out you can actually take a helicopter. And we were like, what? And it's 30 minutes to get to downtown Vancouver from downtown Victoria, and you just arrive 20 minutes before. And it's like a plane. You can bring a bag up to 50 pounds and like totally cool. And we were going down to have some time together, but I also had a boudoir shoot scheduled. I'm going to do a whole podcast on that experience, probably the next one. And we were going to the U2 concert. So having lots of fun stuff going on. We're meeting up with some friends as well, too. And we went in a helicopter. It was like, oh my God, the most fucking incredible. It was so cool, too, because there was just us two, my husband and I, and then one other guy. So normally you can fit 12 onto the helicopter, plus the pilot and the co-pilot, but it was just three of us. So I remember I'm like walking up to the guys who've got the doors open for us, right? And I go, dude, I feel like a rock star. And he goes, yeah, everybody does. Like it was such a trip. And so it was an amazing 2 days and incredible boudoir shoot and like never seen U2 in concert, and it's just like, just an amazing weekend. Came back home, just so grateful. We had so much fun and great time connecting together, Ed and I. And then the next day was Mother's Day. And all sorts of expectations about Mother's Day. That didn't happen with the 3 and a 6-year-old. And with my husband, which again, I'll do a whole other episode on that. And I've talked before in the past about expectations and what they do to us. They fuck with us. And then Monday was a shit show. Kids are going crazy. I'm yelling. The domain, which is a domain, if you don't know what that is, so you own a domain. So the domains I own are drkarenosborne.com and also my name, karenosborne.com, just my name. And I just, like that morning, or it was a Sunday night, it was Monday morning. So around that time, I had just put out, I'm like, you know what? I came back from the weekend, I'm like, I have my Women Wanting More Live, my one-day event coming up on Saturday, June the 10th. And I was like, I want to give away some tickets. I want to give some women the opportunity to be able to come that maybe couldn't have, and I want to give them this gift. And I know that for some, because most women that are coming to the event, even though I'm doing it locally here in Victoria, BC, Canada, are flying in. Like, they're coming in. Most of my clients and most that listen to my message are actually in the U.S. And so I knew that for some, although the ticket would be free, but they'd have to get their butt here to Victoria, it would be something that they'd be like, oh, I'm going now, right? And I know the experience is going to be absolutely incredible for them on this one day. So I put that out in my newsletter, put it out on Facebook, and here's the links. And there's 2 women right away. Actually, I put it out kind of late Sunday night, like, yeah, I'm in, like, I'm so excited, woo. I wake up in the morning, and then I'm getting messages from people saying, hey, the link's broken. I'm like, okay. Let me go see, and that's the link to go and to get their tickets. And then I realized, I'm like, oh shit, the server's down. So I contact my person that oversees that. And I can't hear back from her, because guess what? Not knowing at the time that it's my domain name, which is also attached to my email, I'm not getting her emails back. So I'm contacting my guy Joel that runs a lot of my behind the scenes stuff that you see if you've ever been on one of my webinars. That's Joel that set everything up, and he's behind the scenes managing and making sure volume works and all that good stuff. And he's awesome. Appreciate him so much. And I only realized it's my domain name. It's lapsed. So you end up paying like a year for a domain, and it's cheap, right? I mean, depending on what the domain is, but my name, no one else wants my name, but it's like $10. So we find out that's lapsed. And the reason that's lapsed is that it was attached to my old chiropractic office email, which is no longer a valid email, and I never got the renewals. Then we're like, okay, so let's call. Joelle's calling on the phone for an hour. They're like, yeah, we can fix that for you, no problem. All you gotta do is we're gonna send you an email with a support number for a pin for the support, and we'll get it all done. He's like, great, no problem. That email's no longer valid. Let me give you a new email. They go, no, we can't do that. He's like, what do you mean you can't do that? He's like, no, we gotta send to the email. Like, no, he's like, you're not hearing me properly. The email's no longer valid. They're like, yeah, then you can't do anything. We're like, what? And you need to understand, this is my branding, right? So drkarenosborn.com, how many times have you listened to the podcast, you hear me give that, it's my website address, right? So I'm like, fuck, it was just like a gong show. Finally got it figured out at the end of the day. I could go on and on, but I want to really get to the point of this podcast episode. It is up now. It took 36 hours. So if you try to get into links during that time period, my bad, that is why, but everything's good now. But it was just at the end of the day, I'm just like, I just want to go to bed. Fuck me, Jesus. And I was not in a good space. I was not in a good space with my husband, my kids, myself, my business. And so what I found, and this is the first time I've been through something like this in a while, but guess what? Shit happens. If you think that the name of the game is avoiding stuff, if you think that, I don't go through some of the same stuff that you do, sister, And if you ever talk to somebody who makes it seem like everything's great, and if things come up, there must be something wrong with you, run from that person. That's just insanity. Everybody has shit that comes up in their life. It's just not everyone's as honest about it, or maybe as open as I share on the podcast. So there are two questions that I ask myself when I'm in the shit. Just having a pity party for myself, fuck. And, there's questions to ask yourself, right? And then there's questions that shift. So here's the questions I was asking myself initially. Why does this shit like this keep happening? Because I'll have, technical stuff that comes up. It doesn't matter. It happens, right? But it's like, oh my God, something again has happened. What the fuck is happening with my husband? He should have known I wanted these things for Mother's Day. Why are my kids going insane? Now I got my 3-year-old who's kind of more like mommy's boy and would be very agreeable, and suddenly he's turning and I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this happening? Why are they doing this? Why can't this stop? Why can't I get a break? These are questions that I asked myself, but it didn't get me anywhere. It just spun me more in a circle. So the two questions I want to share with you, and I want you to really listen to these on this episode, that help me to shift any situation I'm in, are this. Number one, what do I want right now? What do I want right now? So at the end of the day, when I'm like, what do I want right now? And I did what's called a positive focus or positive shift the next day, and I'll share. Here's the thing too, it's experiences like this, they're rich with lessons if you're willing to look up and actually see. If you're willing to do the work, Running the Work by Byron Katie, doing a positive focus, what I'll call a positive shift, you will see things in them. And at the time they feel like fuck, and they're just shit, but they're incredible incredible opportunities. And I mean that. I don't just mean that in like a put a bow on everything and everything's just fine. Like they really are full of lessons and gems for you to see something. And so when I ask myself the question of what do I want right now, or pardon me, what, I'm trying to think because it's early morning. What do I want right now? Yeah, what do I want right now? Do I want this right now? And it was like, no. What do I want? I want to be a loving and supportive wife. What do I want? I want to be a mom that listens to her kids and understands that they're 3 and they're 6. What do I want right now? I want to remain in power and understand that this glitch with my website, it's just a little glitch. It's what I want is to see that this is just a small thing and I'm making it into a big thing. And I'm snowballing the whole experience. And that's on me. That's on me. See, it is about how we see experiences, sister. It is our perspective. It's how we choose to see, and it is a choice. So the first question I ask myself is this what I want? Is this what I want right now? The second question that I ask, if it's a no to that first question, which is, well, this is not what I want, so like, what do I want, right? The second question that I ask is, who do I need to become to get what I want? And so I answered some of that in that first question with the answers, who do I need to become? No, I don't want this right now. Well, what do I want? Well, I want this, and I want calm, and I want peace, and I want my focus back, and I want to remember why I'm doing what I'm doing within my business, which, by the way, if you haven't already heard this, say this before, sister, it's for your children. Now, I know if you don't have children, this might not make any sense. But stay with me here because I see beyond you. Yes, I'm here for you. Yes, there's a message that I have to deliver to you. Yes, that message is that you can create an amazing life, a life of more. That you can have all these things that you want. That you can have an incredible marriage and have dollars flowing into your bank account through your work or business and a body that has energy for days and is lean and fit and strong, and you can have connection with your children that you truly desire. These things are all possible. However, I see beyond you because I know the impact this will make on your children. That if you really follow this, that if you really start to live your life the way that I teach here on the podcast, that it'll impact the next generation. And that's why I do what I do. And so when I asked myself the question of who do I need to become, the number one thing that came back to me is I need to come back to my power because I wasn't acting powerful in those situations. Yelling at your kids, not power. Freaking out over a domain name, which it's like, I had to step back and just say, look I cannot be the only business that has an email that, because it's one of those things like you send it for a domain, it's like you never touch it again. You'll get an email renewal, you send it, they've got a card on file. Now, I've had one of my business cards compromised about 3 times in the last year, so I'm like, even if it's an auto renewal and it's like $10 fucking dollars, it's like, how is over $10? Like, just, oh my God. I mean, usually they would just auto renewal, but the card's been compromised. I know that they have one of the older ones. So I knew this was just simply there's a little blip in time. And who do I need to become? I need to become the mom that I know I am. A powerful mom that listens to her kids. That is not perfect, and I don't want perfect. But my kids know that I'm there for them. They know that I love them. That I teach them things every day with their power words. And who do I need to become is more understanding of my husband and understand a lot of the stuff that he's going through in his body with Crohn's that he feels on a regular basis that I forget a lot of days. And a lot of the pressure that he feels with his business and how quickly it's growing and how much that he wants to get results for his clients. And to understand we just came off an incredible weekend and I'm somewhat asking for the moon. And that's okay. But I wasn't being understanding and empathetic in that moment, and that's what I truly wanted as his wife. And who I needed to become was a woman that got a little bit more sleep because I was exhausted and stressed from all this and not making good decisions from that place and being very reactive from that place. So those two questions, sister, is this what I want right now? And if the answer is no, then it's who do I need to become to get what I want right now? They're powerful. And even I can forget those things sometimes. And it literally stopped me in my tracks and I was like, this is up to me. It's not because of the domain thing and the person who's, it's not that. It's not my husband didn't do these things. It's not because my kids are suddenly none of that shit. It's me. My responsibility is on me. And that's incredible. See, when you really understand that your life is up to you, sister, you are responsible for your life. Like you own that, which at first that can be difficult because it's like, oh shit, I'm here because of me. That is correct. And you can bring out the hammers, which are called guilt, blame, and shame. And just beat yourself up about it. Or you can say, okay, cool. This is on me. I got it. Nobody else's fault. It's me. Because I choose how I respond to situations. It's me. Then you realize that the power in that it's also you to be able to change it all. Like it's not dependent on, oh my God, did I roll the dice and get the lucky life? Why are things so hard for me? This is not fair. My 3-year-old yesterday was asking can we go to the toy store? And I go, I don't know. We're not going to the toy store today. You have lots of toys, you're good. Special thing, maybe on the weekend, but no, we're not doing this right now, buddy. But it's not fair. Your life is up to you, sister. Isn't that awesome? That means you get to create it. If you're not happy and you don't like where it is right now, you can change it. Does it happen overnight, some of these things? No. But your decision does. Your decision to take responsibility and own your life and to ask powerful questions like the two I just mentioned. Is this what I want right now? And who do I need to become to get what I want? Will begin that process. And those are your more tips for today. Sit down and journal for the next 15 minutes of a situation in your life right now that is not going the way that you want, that you're not happy with, that you wish was different. And or you're showing up in a way that's not getting you what you want. So ask yourself those two questions. Is this what I want right now? And number 2 is who do I need to become to get what I want? So these types of questions are what we're going to dive deep into at Woman Wanting More Live. And as I mentioned at the top of this episode, now this is so right now as I record this podcast, it's early Wednesday morning, oh my gosh, what day is it? May the 16th, I believe, 16th. So because of the technological issues, aka you couldn't get tickets, I was making those complimentary tickets available that I decided to do for 48 hours. But since most of those 48 hours you could not actually get a ticket, I've extended it to Thursday, May the 18th. Is that right? Oh gosh, whatever. So you're going to see, I think it's Thursday, May the 18th is the actual date. Yeah, I think it's actually the 18th. Today's 17th, 18th. At midnight PST, that's my time zone. So Thursday, May 18th, PST, you can go to this site, which I want you to go right now, which is drkarenosborne.com. It now works. drkarenosborne.com/live, LIVE. You will see at the top of the page, if you go in during this time period, that you can claim your complimentary ticket to Woman Wanting More Live. That is my gift to you, sister. Because I know this is a life-changing event. I know that you getting your booty to here to beautiful Victoria, BC, Canada, to get clear on what you want and why it matters and commit to taking action. And I teach you these tools and you're around women who are like you. Yes, you are not alone. You have the association of others. You have the accountability of that group. You have access to me as a powerful coach taking you through this process on that jam-packed one day. And you will leave with an action plan. You will leave with the steps to actually put this into place. So this is not a feel-good event for one day and then it all goes away. This is strategic. This is tactical, based on these principles. So you can take these more tips and do them and get great results. But the thing is that most of you will not do that. It's difficult to do this in isolation. This is why I do this live event. And I don't know when the next one is. I've had women say to me, like, email like, oh, Karen, that's great, but like I can't, so I'll get the next one. I don't know when there'll be next one. You know, these events, they're a lot to run. They're a lot to organize. They're a lot to promote. It would be great to just, all of you just show up. And there's none of those things that I do. And it may be at one point that I pay someone to do all these things and I have the ability to just do that. But it's not. And so there's a lot to get you out here, to have you know enough that you matter to invest in you, that it is important and impactful. So I don't know if there will be next one or when that will be. This is your time. If you've been thinking about it or there's a voice inside of you that's like, oh my God, can I do this? Make it fucking happen. Make it happen. I had a woman actually message me and she's like, I can't remember where she is, but she doesn't have a passport. Or it lapsed, and so she has to get it renewed, and the passport office, she must be in a small town, but she's like, they've been closed, there's problems, I gotta go to a temporary office and like wait in line for hours. But she was like, I got my ticket, I will make this happen. If you want things badly enough, you will. Complimentary ticket, go to drkarenosborne.com/live, L-I-V-E, and you can get that until Thursday, May 18th at midnight PST, and I look forward to connecting with you eyeball to eyeball in less than 30 days from now as I record this podcast. So I will talk to the next episode, sister. A life of more is just one step away from me doing the fucking work every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosborne.com/newsletter.